I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Brothers and sisters of the Great Plains Conference and United Methodists everywhere, I am Bishop David Wilson, and I hope you will join me on January 15, 2024 to honor the life and legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. On this day each year, it's appropriate for us to spend the holiday commemorating his birth by considering what he taught and how to make his dream of a truly beloved community a reality. Dr. King did so many things to further the concept of equity in our society, but this year I want to reflect specifically on a famous letter he wrote while incarcerated in a jail in Birmingham, Alabama. I was able to visit a replica of that jail this summer at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute with a group of folks from our Mercy and Justice team of the Great Plains. I learned much more about that experience and the profound words and actions he shared. In April of 1963, Dr. King took part in nonviolent demonstrations, and while in prison, he was alerted to a public statement from 8 white religious leaders in the South urging him to use caution. Basically, they wanted him to cease his efforts to push for equal rights for all people. In effect, they wanted Dr. King to tell his followers to be patient, to wait even longer, that the protests that he led were not well-timed. It's sad to say that 2 of the 8 who wanted to silence Dr. King were Methodist bishops. So as a current United Methodist bishop, and as the first indigenous person to have a seat at that table in our denomination after more than 2 centuries of marginalization for Native peoples, I want to express my thanks to Dr. King for his response. And I urge us all, like Dr. King in his day, not to stay silent regarding inequities in our world today. Dr. King wrote to his critics, "Frankly, I have yet to engage in a direct action campaign that was well-timed in the view of those who have not suffered unduly from the disease of segregation. For years now I have heard the word wait. It rings in the ear of every Negro with piercing familiarity. This wait has almost always meant never." Dr. King then drew a parallel between his form of civil disobedience with the biblical actions of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from Daniel chapter 3. The 3 followers of God chose to stay true to their Creator rather than to bow down to a false deity. They were sentenced to burn in the furnace because the king under which they lived preferred order over justice. Unfortunately, that is far too often the choice being made in today's world. Far too many people choose protecting their own standing, their own privilege, their own status quo over seeking justice for all of humanity. How much longer should people wait to find justice? Jesus sought justice for all. He gave himself up on the cross so that all of us, regardless of skin, color, ethnicity, or sexuality, or how much money you have in the bank, could live in equity with one another. So on this day, to honor Dr. King, let's remember the man. But even more, let's remember what he fought for, what he sought, and of course, what he dreamed. I pray we as United Methodists will be brave enough to follow Dr. King's legacy, and that we would speak up and stand up for those who cannot do so for themselves. I leave you today with the closing words of Dr. King from that letter. Let us all hope that the dark clouds of racial prejudice will soon pass away, and the deep fog of misunderstanding will be lifted from our fear-drenched communities. And in some not too distant tomorrow, the radiant stars of love and brotherhood will shine over our great nation with all their scintillating beauty. That is my prayer for you, for me, for our country, and for our world.